What's up, everyone? Welcome back to 20,000 Films Under the Sea. I'm back, your host DJ, and tonight we're going to be talking about Venom: The Last Dance. Supposedly the last of the Venom movies of this era. So strap yourselves in, get a bucket of popcorn, and enjoy the show. What is up, everybody? My name is DJ, and tonight I am joined by three of my best friends. Minus one, he's not here. But, we got the illustrious five-star man, Devin. Brevin the dude. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. It's spooky season. It's cozy season. I'm having a good time. I actually it's got cold enough now, so I started using my fireplace to keep the house warm. It's pretty nice. Yeah,
Yeah. Get cozy?
yeah,
Yeah. Fireplace looking nice?
Cozy season. Oh yeah. Oh, also I have been playing a shit ton of Baldur's Gate 3 with our buddy Sam. And
Yeah,
it
I've
has
seen you
been
guys
great.
playing it in the chat earlier in the
Yeah.
what's that chat called, dude? Freaking the Club.
The
The Club chat.
Yeah, the Club chat.
How is it? How are you liking Baldur's Gate with Sam? How are you liking the co-op?
Oh, dude, I'm loving it.
Hell yeah.
No,
How far have you
it's a
gotten?
long time coming. I've literally been waiting to play this game just with people, and I know
Mhm.
I've mentioned it to you guys a bunch, and somehow we still have never played together, but Sam finally bought it. So,
Well, there you go. How's Sam liking it?
oh, he loves it, dude. He's playing as a gnome barbarian
That's sick.
with like a super high strength stat, and he just keeps throwing enemies at other enemies. It's hilarious. Or
Oh
like he
yeah,
keeps
he's doing
picking up
the
barrels and throwing
improvised
them.
melee weapon.
Yeah,
Just throwing
yeah,
shit. Hell yeah.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah. Speaking of a
Good
great
time.
time, we are also joined by the cat owner of multiple cats, actually. Has a cat on his desk right now. It's Xander. Xander.
Hey, what's up? What'd that cat
Yeah.
do? Wait, hold
Huh?
on.
What?
Yeah, what'd that cat do?
what does it do?
Yeah.
It
Drips.
loafs. It knocks stuff over. It meows. It purrs. It might even lick on
Devin,
occasion. It might
Devin,
bite.
we could have had a good night.
What? Cat's drool? What are you guys thinking of?
If your cat drool, listen, okay, we're not gonna go there. Hey, hi, how's it going? We're doing a movie review, right?
Hey man, you get a
I'm
little too
excited.
ahead of yourself. Okay, why don't you reel it back? Let the host of the show
Yeah,
take care of the ship, huh? How about that?
yeah.
How about you let the host the damn show? Okay.
Also, like, get your mind
Let
out of
me
the gutter.
decide.
DJ.
I am the decider. Let the decider
Yeah.
decide.
Get your mind out of the gutter. This is DJ's like main like show to host tonight because Ernell hijacked Shipwreck.
Yeah, I mean,
That's true. That's
also,
true.
Ernell didn't tell me he was going. Well, actually, I just didn't read that he was not going to be here, so it's both of our faults. So
I don't think any of us really pay attention to anything around here, so it's
no,
all good.
okay. For it
mean,
being
that's-
staff chat, we talk about a lot
that's
of
not true,
bullshit in
but-
there. Okay, so I kind of tune out.
That's true.
We
I
need
kinda
a
tune out.
bullshit chat.
That's
Yeah.
true.
We need a
We gotta-
bullshit chat.
We need a staff off topic.
We need-
yeah, we need
like,
a
an
separate
important
staff
chat.
chat.
Staff chat urgent.
Yeah, we have staff
The
chat
real
general,
staff chat. Yeah.
urgent, and then staff chat.
Will the real
very
staff
important.
Just stand up.
Like yeah, a little separate. That won't
Yeah.
cause Ernell any headaches at all.
Oh, I would love that.
Oh man, but Zan, how are you doing today, man? Well, what's been going on?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been kind of tired. Work has been very busy. We have a busy few weeks coming up. We got some big events that we're prepping for, and then just after that, we have another big event that we gotta prep for, and then just after that, come holiday season, I'm gonna be working some lighting for the Nutcracker play that they're gonna be putting on over at the auditorium, which I get paid overtime for. So I'm excited for that.
Hell yeah, getting big money.
Yeah,
Big money.
money, medium money. You gotta if you're paying me big money, then you're gonna have to let me make some decisions around there. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, no, I'm just doing the thing.
Yeah, being a job guy, being a jobber, you know.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Xander.
Hey, you should try it out.
Job guy.
No, I'm never getting the job. I'm actually gonna be unemployed the rest of my life. No stable income, I'm just gonna accumulate money passively through my skill tree that I will eventually level up.
Yeah, see how our generation made it okay and made it commonplace to move back in with your parents in your 30s. You're gonna make it okay to move back in with your parents in your 40s.
I'm never leaving. I've never left. Okay, I'm staying in the fucking enclosure. All right, I'm not leaving this place. There is no Madagascar movie. Okay, I'm not leaving the fucking zoo. I'm not doing it. I'm staying here. I'm cozy. No bills to pay. But yeah. Speaking of Madagascar.
He does give Melman.
Shakes his head
our
at
very
me.
own giraffe, Garrick, Bartholomew, Eden. How are you doing today, sir?
Melman? I'll leave this fucking episode right now.
Garrick, none of that had to do with me. Okay.
Oh my! He laughed. No, Garrick.
Evan's out here just trying not to catch. Evan's just trying not to catch a fucking stray right now.
Yeah, he's trying to.
No. I'm not catching the
avoid
strays.
accountability. He laughed. I saw him laugh.
Just saying, I'm not a part of this.
We're all equal in this.
This ain't me.
We're all
I'm
equal,
just here.
Equal capital
Why do I always? No.
Here.
Why do I always get these fucking segues?
I don't know. I
Think
never
real.
do that.
I want you all to think real. No, you don't necessarily do it, but think real hard. Who does this always happen to?
Okay.
What did I do? What did I do?
Okay.
What
No.
I have an answer. To any of you guys?
You're my beautiful cherry blossom.
I have an answer.
You're my beautiful cherry blossom. See, I gave you a great nickname.
I might have an answer to that rhetorical question that you've asked, but I think it's because since in Discord you're Vermilion Beard, so you appear last in the camera setup, right? In this instance, I just couldn't think of a good segue, so I just had to play.
I get it. I'm literally no. I'm literally chopped fucking liver. This is. Are you kidding me right now?
Hey,
you
listen,
literally. He said. I can't be bothered to put in the effort. I've already done two good ones.
No.
Fuck you for the third.
I tried. What do you mean? Those were I just said Devin's name. I just fell back on old reliable.
Why do I always get like the accidental bullshit backhanded insult?
You could have just called him Devin's.
No, I had a good one, but I forgot. Like a train left the station before I could say it.
Nobody wants to be Melman. The fucking? Are you kidding me?
Hey, I mean he does.
He does date. Oh my god!
He does date the hippo. He gets the baddie at the end of the day.
Dude, that's the one W, dude. That's the one W this whole giraffe has in his life. I don't want to be a fucking hypochondriac giraffe. Are you kidding me? You've been back for 4 fucking days, DJ. Are you shitting me right now?
So, welcome to 20,000 Films Under the Sea. Your choice for all the nerdy pop media news, reviews, and discussions you want each and every week. If you like that, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics of the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video service near you. But if you emptied your pockets for Lazy Grace Entertainment, that's cool with us. You can watch us record this show live right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. Just like, I don't even have the chat pulled up. I'm so sorry. Who's in there? Who's in? Just us. It's just us here. Please come and chat with us if you have the time. But if you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime. And we would love for you to give that to us to help keep the lights on and cameras rolling. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, hitting subscribe, or by leaving a review on our podcast channel by searching 20,000 Films Under the Sea. And we'll be there waiting for you with a bad segue.
Oh, he's
How
got tears.
fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? How dare you?
It's pretty good. It's pretty
Garrett
good.
crashing out on the 20,000 Films is not on my bingo card for 2024.
Garrick's like,
You
I'm not
believe
even
this?
supposed to be here today.
Just trying to have a nice Friday with my
It
friends.
is Friday. No, it is. It is Friday. It is. And I'm so happy that you're
Depending
here,
on-
Garrick, for Friday.
Some
You're not
people watching
usually
this
here.
right now it might be Saturday.
It's Saturday somewhere, but not here, because it's Friday. And thank God it's Friday.
Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. Devin,
Yeah.
we have some director's commentary. Check out our latest episode of Death Ratio. We went over the Xbox showcase, a little party showcase. Got to see some cool games. Talk about cool games. And what we're looking forward to in the near future. Also, again, watch our stream of Silent Hill 2 on YouTube. We have it up there for you to enjoy. Just you. Whoever's listening right now. Specifically you. Right there. Yep. You, yeah. Pointing at you.
Just
And I'm back. And merch is finally on the way. I know got it together. And you know,
On the
he forgot to give me my fucking hat the other day. That fucking bitch.
and
On
he's
that
not
note-
here, and he's not here to, you know,
I know.
to try to defend himself and gaslight you. Oh,
Just keep in mind, when we do initiate the merch store, we do have some important dates coming up in regards to our merch store source. Let's see right here. So there's going to be some dates coming up for
You
holiday
forgot to give
orders.
me the hat the other day.
Oh, this motherfucker's making a goddamn phone call when I'm trying to make an announcement. Okay, you know what? Hit me up in Discord if you want to know more about our merch.
Yeah, join our Discord. All right. Now that's great. Amazing stuff, gentlemen. Let's get into our next segment. Our next big segment. Garrick, could you tell the people at home what we got going on in our next segment?
No, I
Okay.
can't.
All right,
I can't do
Xander.
anything for you, actually.
Xander, what we got going on? Xander, somebody. I need someone reliable here. I need
I'm not reliable here. I don't do this.
So
often.
we're going into the final cut. Woo! Final
He said,
cut.
I'll do it. I'll do it
Yes,
myself.
That's what I thought it was called. That's what I thought it was called. I was like,
Yeah. Final cut is our big topic segment. Reserve it for reviews. Tonight's review topic is Venom: The Last Dance, spoiler-free review. Eddie and Venom are on the run, hunted by both of their worlds, and with the net closing in, the duo are forced into a devastating decision that will bring the curtains down on Venom and Eddie's last dance. Ooh. This film was released October 24th, 2024, literally yesterday as we're recording this. It's directed by Kelly Marcel, who directed the other two Venom movies. and also directed 50 Shades of Grey. You guys,
I thought Andy Serkis directed Let There Be Carnage.
I think they both did. I think it was like
It could have very well.
I think it's co-directing thing because I
Wasn't the
have
first one like Ruben Fleischer or something like that?
I don't know. It could I could have read the thing wrong, and they could have just been a producer, but
No, it's
but
okay. I was genuine here. I'll
yeah.
check.
It's also written by Kelly Marcel.
Screenplay
and,
by Kelly Marcel, directed by Andy Serkis for Let There Be Carnage.
Okay, there you go. Also,
Yeah, Ruben Fleischer directed the first one.
Yeah, Venom: Last Dance was written by Kelly Marcel as well, and Tom Hardy. At the same time, music by Dan Deacon, who did music for Hustle, The Changeling, and The Thinking Game. Also worked on the other Venom movies as well. This film had a budget of $120 million. Woo, that's a lot of money. Box office currently, as I wrote this, which was a few hours ago, 35.8 million worldwide at the, including previews. And
It'll make Vegas money, I'm sure.
Yeah. And the runtime is around an hour and 50 minutes. All right, Garrett, can you tell us, tell people one of the fun facts that we got lined up for this film?
Before Kelly Marcel was hired to direct the third film, Andy Serkis, who directed Venom: Let There Be Carnage in 2021, expressed an interest in returning to direct another Venom film and felt there was more to explore with Venom in future films before the character met Spider-Man in a future MCU SSU crossover film, including future exploration of the Ravencroft Institute and other potential villains being held there.
Nice. Xander, can you give us the next fun fact?
Hold on, I gotta pull it up because I'm currently.
All right, Devin,
making the
can you give
thumbnail,
us the
sorry.
next fun fact, Devin?
I can't say his name the best, so I'm going to say this is Chiwetel's second Marvel role. He previously played as. Thank you. He previously played as Mordo in Doctor Strange 2016 and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in 2022. This is Rhys Ifron's second Marvel role, as he previously played as Dr. Curtis Connors / the Lizard in The Amazing Spider-Man 2012 and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Devin, can you turn the gain up on your micro? It feels like it's getting lower. Like I'm turning you up. It feels like
didn't move it at all.
Oh,
but
there you go.
Yeah,
that's better.
Yeah. No, I'm just stuffy.
Okay.
But yeah, no. Interesting. Sounds like a Sonyverse thing to do.
Very Sonyverse. Very, very Sonyverse thing to do.
Very Sony based.
Yeah. So let's go around and give our top level thoughts of Venom: The Last Dance. Let's start with you, Devin. Devin, what'd you think of this final Venom film that we're probably going to see from this universe?
Okay, I can start off with I'm surprised it was made.
Okay.
The first two acts of this movie is a fucking slog. It's just nonsensical, like, hey, I want to go to this place and thing A happens to thing B to thing C. And it doesn't really make a lot of sense, to tell you the truth. And it jumps around a lot from place to place. There's a lot of time passing with no context on what's happening within this time. It's like all of a sudden, Eddie and Venom are on the side of a plane, and we have no idea how they even got to that point. You know what I mean? It didn't even like say that it was going that route or anything. They were just on the side of a plane all of a sudden. You know, I think some of the effects were cool. A lot of the movie for me is very forgettable, if I'm going to be honest with you, because the dialogue just wasn't that good. And I did like the xenophage, right? That's the the alien race under Null. I like the xenophage design, especially when it finally made its first kill.
Mhm.
I was actually like, that's kind of cool, you know? So that was kind of cool. But dude, this movie was painful. I definitely felt every minute of this movie. I will say during the third act, it was definitely more enjoyable, you know, due to like what it's shown and what happened. Um, the gal that played Dr. Payne,
Juno Temple.
yeah, I did not vibe with her honestly in this movie at all. They made like characters have these like emotions and like feelings, like you can tell like what they're gonna do, but there isn't like any drive behind it either. There's no like, oh, this makes sense. It's just like, oh, they feel like this for some reason. um I don't know, man. It was just another Venom movie. It was better than Let There Be Garbage. I'll give him that. You know, it was better than that, which is kind of sad to say because Carnage and Woody Harrelson are like two things I enjoy in a lot of other properties and IP, you know, but not so much in that movie. Um, dude, this movie's like a hard like 4 out of 10 for me. This is like wait to watch this in streaming. Like, yeah.
You just gave the rating out of. I didn't even ask for.
Sorry.
What's going on tonight, boys? I thought we were running a show.
Hey, I told you guys preemptively I don't feel good today.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh
Yeah.
well, you know that we'll add that to the score. Bing bing, 4 out of 10 already. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to Garrick. Garrick, my friend. How do you feel about Venom: The Last Dance?
It was about what I expected it to be in terms of it being a film. It fits perfectly in line with the other two, and you can interpret that sentence however you would like to. But it does fit in line with what they started with and how they wanted to finish it. Let's see. How do I want to? Let's start with the good. I didn't hate the film. I also understand that like I as a reviewer on this movie am probably a touch biased because I really really like Venom as a character, and like I have a lot of qualms with this version of the character, but I really really like Tom Hardy as well. Like I love Tom Hardy actually. I won't even share. I think he's a fantastic actor.
Bikers was really good actually.
Yeah, and I really like him. I like just a lot, and I do feel like he is like the center focus. Like I love, I liked it in the first movie. I liked it in the second movie. I liked it here. I love Tom Hardy's chemistry with himself, and like that sounds funny to say, but he also plays and voices Venom, right? And so I find that alone is worth a lot to me from a film value standpoint, because, and I have to kind of explain this in a weird way, because that I feel like that is truly great acting, if that makes sense. Because not only does he have chemistry, but he has chemistry with literally himself. And I know very few actors that I find watchable in that scenario. And like basically the only people that I've ever seen do it and I've enjoyed it have been like Robin Williams or like Michael Myers or Eddie Murphy, right? Somebody with like impeccable comedic genius. And well, all of the dialogue and the jokes don't necessarily land for me in this movie or even any of the Venom movies. I really, really like the self chemistry and the way that these characters present themselves. I find them endlessly watchable. I like watching this version of Eddie Brock interact with this version of Venom. I really do. I think it shows a really interesting inner conflict, and like I felt like they've always done a good job showing Eddie's like even though he acknowledges that Venom is his best friend, but he also acknowledges that he's like a willful burden on his life. And I appreciate that they acknowledge and that they try to do a lot with that dynamic. That is always where this movie feels the strongest, is when Eddie and Venom are doing Eddie and Venom things. Now I understand that a lot of people could, and when I understandably come from a place that this isn't a comic book accurate version of the character, but I gave up with it being that after I understood that it wasn't going to be that in the movies, in the first movie, and that we were going to get a slightly different experience with just a comic foundation. They're trying to honor enough of the source material that I don't feel slighted with the way they're using this character, but I do feel like, of course, it could always be done better. I like, as a perfect example, Spider-Man 2's Venom is, I feel like, a far superior version of Venom. And so that was probably my favorite part of the movie. I genuinely find Tom Hardy super watchable in this and in the previous two Venom films. I actually really liked the creature design here a lot too, echoing off of Devin. I thought the xenophage was very cool to look at. I like eldritch creatures. I thought they did a good job with that design, and also pretty much had the same reaction when it's got its first kill. I was just like, "Oh fuck, that was not expecting that. That was kind of cool." But really, aside from those two things, which do add some significant value for me as a reviewer, there is a lot to dislike about this film. And I won't push back. And if anybody was ever just like, Garrick, your opinion on this film is wrong and it's dog shit, I'll be like, you're probably right. And I wouldn't argue with that. Because this movie's plot is so ridiculously convenient for itself, it hurts. And I think that's what makes it so slow, is like, even though this movie's not even 2 hours, it's an hour and 48 minutes. And that's if you sit through all of the fucking credits. Like, this movie it literally is the most like, what do we need to do to get from Act 1 start to Act 1 finish, to get to Act 2 start to Act 2 finish, to close this film out in a third act. Like, it literally only has those core plot points, and they don't even fucking necessarily make sense. Devin.
Speaking of sitting through the credits, don't. Post-credit scene.
Yeah, Google it. Say for the mid-credit scene it was interesting. Don't Google the last one. Seriously. If they would have flipped it, I could have forgiven them. But yeah, don't. The post-credit scene was stupid. But this, like, the plot literally only existed to service the film's further plot. And honestly, it was so paper thin. The only person that you could even bother to give any semblance of a fuck about all film long is Eddie Brock. There is no reason to care about Dr. Payne and the weird little flashback dialogue that it was somehow the most bullshit foreshadowing I've ever seen in my life. And it was really kind of painful to get through the plot, make the major plot points. And I found myself going from like having a grin on my face because I was enjoying like the Eddie and Brock dialogue and the weird funny jokes that they were making, because I have stupid humor, and so like I can appreciate I appreciated the dumbass jokes that they were making all film long. They landed with me. I maybe didn't like belly laugh most of the time, but I was definitely grinning whenever they were cracking jokes. I was like, oh my god. Right? Even if it was just like an eye roll, but I still had a smile on my face, so I can't say I wasn't entertained. But in between those moments of entertainment, I was so bored. I was so painfully bored, right? I didn't give a shit about any of the side characters. I feel actually so bad for Chiwetel, because he has literally had two of the most useless Marvel roles ever. Ever. His character literally didn't even fucking need to be in this movie.
Nope. Nope.
He would.
I think
His literally his entire purpose. His entire purpose was to service the last 3 minutes of the plot, and by using a bullshit throwaway scene in the first 20 minutes of the fucking film.
Yep.
I'm not even kidding you. The foreshadowing was painful. The film treats you like an idiot with its plot. It assumes that you have never seen a movie before. You don't know how movies go. You don't know how this is going to end. And it ends up being so unbelievably predictable that there's just no satisfaction, even with the way they chose to end the film. And the third act was by far the most enjoyable part in terms of like action and relevant dialogue and character development and me just giving a crap about anything going on screen. And it made it really hard to watch ultimately. And I felt really dissatisfied with how they ended it. And I was just like, they could have done so many other cool things. And I felt like they ended it just because they didn't really have a fourth movie to make. And that's all. And so rather than giving us like a good setup to something in the future or a crossover, which they didn't even really establish either, they just leave you hanging with like kind of a disservice to like one of Marvel's most beloved antiheroes. And I was a little disappointed in that fact. I liked Null's design in this. Andy Serkis's performance as Null was good. That's not a spoiler, sure. He's literally established that in the trailer, by the way. And yeah, it was just, there was a lot of things that like that kind of, it gently rubbed me the wrong way. But like there was like a lot of, you know, like when you have a tag on your shirt that kind of itches, right? And like you can push it away and it stops itching for a while, but eventually it settles back into that same spot and it starts to itch again. And the only way to ultimately get rid of it is to change your shirt, right? That's how I felt about this movie. I was like, I get it out of the way and I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable again and I'm having a good time. And then like the plot would settle into its bad self and I'd be like, all right, man, this needs to pick up and like this needs to do something for me. But like the plot was just so convenient. And then while I did find the third act enjoyable, their use of symbiotes made no sense. No sense at all. It made no sense at all. And it just
book and shut it.
What?
The spoilers.
I didn't spoil anything.
No, it's already been stated in interviews that
I didn't even give and I just said symbiotes. Yeah, I was like, I just their use. I didn't like their uses of symbiotes. I can't say anything beyond that because it would be spoiling. But if you are somebody that likes that comic run that where symbiotes are involved, you will 100% see what I mean here. There is a big point of contention for me with this plot. I know I'm talking a lot, and I'll wrap this up. I'm sorry. Where like the big plot focus is an object called the Codex, and basically it is an ethereal key that exists within Venom and Eddie because their character died and then was revived by a symbiote, to the host. But there are other characters that this has happened with, and they don't. I don't fucking know, man, because honestly, the plot's not explained well enough for me to understand what a fucking codex is and why only this person has it when the creation criteria has been met multiple times by other people. And I found that very annoying. So Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy's great character, and Tom Hardy's performance as Eddie and Venom are awesome. The jokes are hit and miss. But there wasn't quite as much action in this movie as there was in the previous two until we get to the third act, which is enjoyable and does have some redeeming qualities, but doesn't save what is ultimately a very, very boring and self-serving film.
Nice. I appreciate that. Oh, Devin.
I think the most relatable scene in this movie is when Eddie is in the van and says, "Can I shoot myself in the face now?"
Yeah,
100%.
feel that. I feel that. Well, Xander, what are your thoughts? Top level thoughts on Venom: The Last Dance?
Well, I think Garrick pretty much hit the nail on the head with that because he and I were actually texting like almost immediately after viewing this, and we had a lot of similar opinions about this film. I will say, I mean, like we've all already mentioned so far, it's undeniable how good some of the creature design is in this film. I mean, even all the Venom films, and I think one takeaway from this entire franchise would be the overall design for symbiotes and stuff like that. I think they really hit the nail on the head with that. The xenophages, Null himself, they look awesome. Yeah, it. I want to stick with the pros first because there's a lot to not like about this film. So I want to kind of try and like give a little bit of credit where credit is due. Because there is a little bit there to be liked. Like Tom Hardy in general, he does bring the charm. He brings the humor and brings life to a character that maybe some people who aren't as well versed in the comic lore might just see Eddie Brock as just like another villain. But he does bring some depth to the character somewhat. It's just yeah, everything in this film is just way too convenient. I found myself constantly just like with my, I don't know if you guys do this, but like when you're just completely dumbfounded by something, you just like you put your hand in the air like, what, huh? And like there are multiple moments where out loud I was like, are you fucking serious? Like I don't need to hear David Bowie's Space Oddity like that long for a scene. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Good song, but after a while, it started making me think of that one scene in the plane on Mr. Deeds. I don't know if you're familiar with that film, but
that's exactly what it made me think of.
Yeah, I wasn't. There's just so much about it where it's just, and like the way it all plays out, it's just like there are certain. I don't want to get into specific plot points or anything, but there are certain characters that do certain things that I'm just like, that would never fucking happen. Like there are 4 characters in particular I'm referring to that you guys, it'll make sense if you've seen the film. There are 4, there's no way that these 4 people would do something like that anywhere, especially in the state that this was. That's just, it makes absolutely no sense. There's nothing about it that made any sense whatsoever.
Garrick.
The hole in the fence. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes.
The hole in the fence actually almost killed me inside. I was just like, "There's no way they're doing that. Come on."
Like even if a place like this is this close to being donezo, like there is no way, it's still protected. Like
why is it empty?
Coming from a federal government background, it killed me a lot. I was like, no, this makes absolutely no sense. It's just like every little bit was just way too convenient to further the story and just get to the end. That's just how. And there's like they have like little Easter eggs here and there where I was just like, don't try and sprinkle in this Easter egg trying to save your fucking film when you already know that I will give you this. It's not as bad as Madam Web. nowhere near as bad as
No.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
No, that is
And when
that film is irredeemable.
yeah, but and when the action does pick up, it is fun. It is if you especially and I spoke with Garrick about it. If you look at this whole franchise, or at least the trilogy, as like the rest of it, because like we view Marvel thing, especially I want to say a lot of the Disney Marvel films have kind of spoiled us a little bit to where they've done a pretty good job of honoring the source material and bringing a little bit more of that, comic book accuracy to film. We have to remind ourselves this is more just like it is inspired by the source
It is
material.
a true
not
adaptation, right? Things have been
Yeah.
changed to service
Yeah.
this person's vision of this character. It has been adapted
Exactly.
from the comic book, and you cannot expect it to be the same here.
Yeah, you and if you really want to glean any enjoyment out of this, you have to go into this thinking, oh, this is not a one-to-one adaptation. This is inspired by stories of Venom. Okay, that is it. Especially when Garrick brought up the codex, they oversimplified the idea of the codices, and it's just. And I say codices because in the comic books there are multiple. Okay, there are
it's like
more
a
than
whole
just
deal.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they oversimplify it, and then even when they do explain it, they do it very poorly to the point where while you're watching the film, you're like, "Wait a minute, wait, hold on, I'm missing something here." I'm like, what the hell? And it's crazy because, like Garrick said, this film thinks that its viewers are dumb. So it over explains where it doesn't need to, but then under explains when it should over explain or explain a little bit better. Like it was just, and then lastly, I do want to point out the post credit scenes. So I actually, Garrick had already texted me saying, don't stay for the post credit.
I tried to warn you.
I didn't technically stay for it. I watched the mid-credit scene, went to take a piss, came back, and I just stood there. And I just because I was like, I just want to see it. I'll just see it, and then I can leave. But yeah, like I was standing in like the little like walkway to the theater, like just like peering around to see the screen. And then as soon as it finished playing, like there were multiple. I heard multiple people in the theater like, "Is that it? Was that it? Are you kidding me?" Like that was the general consensus. So please, if you haven't seen it yet, just Google it. It's not really worth it. I'm pretty sure it'll leak soon by the end of the week. You didn't hear that.
Mid-credit scene is good though.
Mid-credit scene is good.
It's okay.
And I say this with a grain of salt, based on what I've heard in terms of rumors surrounding Spider-Man 4 and potential alterations to Disney Marvel and Sony Marvel's shared agreement with the Spider-Man universe and stuff like that. There could be some interweaving there. They might have better plans in the future for that, but it's just, gosh, I genuinely wish this was a better one-to-one adaptation of the Venom character, because I do genuinely love Tom Hardy. I do love the casting for that, and I think there could have been something great there had they started with Spider-Man and then brought it into Tom Hardy. Like give it a little bit more comic book accuracy. But I mean, it feels a lot like they did what they could, and then they realized that they couldn't do any more, so they just decided to have fun with it in the end. Which, to that notion, yeah, if you can turn your brain off and just watch it for whatever it is, it's an okay time with a couple of drinks. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, I guess that leaves me. I think I may have
DG,
had,
what were your top level thoughts?
I think I may have had a lobotomy because I actually enjoyed this movie.
Dude, I didn't I critiqued it really hard, but I just want you to remember all of the
Yeah,
things I
yeah,
said
you
at the
weren't
beginning.
saying, yeah.
I really did have fun with it.
Yeah, I do admit that first and second act is an absolute slog, but honestly, if you lean into just the cheesiness of it, because
Uh-huh.
I think it has to be done on purpose at this point. I literally went through the rest of the film. I got invested. I don't know why I got invested. I've seen the first one, but that was so long ago. I don't even remember what happened in the first Venom movie. But I was watching this one, and I was like, I was falling for its charm, I guess. It's like this, you see like it's like one of your friends, he's like they're just really stupid, and you're like, oh my god, bless your heart. Like you're just so ignorant to the world, right?
That is actually such a good fucking way to describe this
Like,
fucking movie.
right? Like it's
Pug.
like I
It's the
I
pug or the
admire.
bulldog of movies.
Yeah, like it's just no thought behind the eyes,
You're ugly,
right?
but I love you.
Like I appreciate that you're ignorant to all the world's evils. You know what I mean? Like in a perfect world, this movie would hit, right? This movie would definitely be if the world didn't have suffering, I think this movie would have been like a 10 out of 10. Right? If suffering and trauma didn't exist, this movie would have been way up here, okay? Because honestly, I got invested and I shed a tear for the characters. I shed a tear.
Me too. I did.
Like, I was like, no way,
of movies.
no way this film is actually making me cry. There's absolutely no way Venom: The Last Dance is making me smile, laugh, and cry. And that's I can't fault it for that. I mean, like it's just yes, the plot is super simple, and it's like it babies you in certain ways with the plot. Like it treats it as if like this is the first movie ever to be made. Like you know what I mean? I no the whole time I was thinking of watching this film, I was like, this feels like an SNL skit extended to.
It's like a plot,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. It feels like an SNL skit. It feels edited like an SNL skit, especially between the first and second act. It is just
The fucking
cheesy,
band scene could be
and
an
then-
SNL skit.
yeah. And then we get Mrs. Chen in
Mhm.
Vegas. Like that was cool. I thought I was
That was convenient.
yeah, very convenient, but also very funny. I think I enjoyed that.
Me too.
I started smiling like as the film
convenient,
goes
but-
going on, like a smile was growing across my face, just the ridiculousness of it. Like, and oh my god, this running gag of his footwear, Eddie's footwear, like just throughout
My
the
shoes.
entire film, my shoes, and then the
Look, keep
foreshadowing.
these shoes.
I was like, why did they zoom in on these specific pair of shoes? And then at the end, they call back to it. Finally, I was like, why did the Jordans matter? Okay, why Jordan? Why Jordan 4s or 5s? Actually, those are Jordan 5s. Like just a random pair. It's just, man, I don't know what it is. It was just fun. I didn't feel robbed. I didn't feel scammed. I paid $9 to see this movie. $9.19 for this ticket, and
God,
I
I need to
enjoyed
go where you
myself.
go. I paid fucking $19.
well, I saw it in the morning matinee show, so like it's a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I sat in
I
the
paid
freaking. I sat in the dead middle of the freaking
paid
auditorium. I thought I was the only one who was going to see it, but there was more people that came, and even at the end, dude, like me and this guy started talking about it. That was a good film. That was a good film. He was excited about it. But yeah, dude, it's like I don't know. It's just there's a lot of errant cuts to shit. There's a lot of fucking jump cuts to shit. In the editing and to Devin's point, it's like how do the fuck like there's somehow how do we get here? Like we just move from here to here, type of thing. Just the plot just moves forward, in time, however the hell it wants to. Like there's always there's
Yeah, it
just-
felt like there was a lot of off-scene, like off.
yeah, there's a lot of off scenes. I'm pretty sure there might have been more scenes on the cutting room floor that we're not aware of. There's a lot of mulligans. There's just so many mulligans in this. It's just very convenient. Like
I thought there was only one mulligan in the movie.
yeah, and it was just like man, I don't know why it warmed my heart in a way. Those four individuals with a van. I don't know why that warmed my heart. I just it's just seeing them was like, hey, that's cool. You know, I wish I had it like that. You know, maybe just slightly, very very palm colored activity. You know, going
So
on.
did they apparently.
You know, but I caught myself laughing. Like I caught myself like, oh my, like just like chuckling, and it's just I don't know, man. This is hard to place for me. I had to think about this the entire day. Like I watched it, I was like, what? Like did I actually enjoy that? Or was that, or like was I just not looking? Like was I? Because I didn't look at my phone. Because usually when I'm like, because my ADHD kicks in, and I'm like, I just look at my phone, you know, for like periodically just check it. But I didn't with this film. Like I checked it at the beginning because the begin like I said, the first act and second act. Oh my god, boring. But like the way it picks up, you're like, okay, like there's something good here. I don't know why. There's something good. But yeah, that those are my top level thoughts.
Dude, that makes me happy for you. Actually, like I'm really glad.
Yeah,
actually,
I was like,
I don't know.
damn. Listen to you guys. I was like, damn. Like you guys got scammed. Your experience was not my experience. Devin.
DJ, to be fair on that, I think it's because the three of us have a lot of background with Venom as a character between like comics, cartoons, and video games. So we were expecting like us, especially with the story of Noel. Like Noel is like the epitome of Spider-Man symbiote big badass villains.
Oh yeah, he's literally
like
a
he's
Thanos.
the bad.
He's an
the big bad.
He is the eldritch god of darkness.
He's worse than Thanos. He's
Yeah,
worse
like
than Thanos.
so much
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah,
Arguably, yeah.
Xander.
I will say, and I was a little bit more critical on mine as well. I did enjoy parts. I do want to stress that I did enjoy parts of it, especially when I finally, like I said, if you really want to glean any enjoyment out of it, if you are a comic book fan, you have to get out of that comic book mindset. You really do. Like it's like I said, have a couple beers, put it on, turn your brain off. It's enjoyable. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. There's some, like I said, the creature design and everything is really cool, especially when like I wish we got more backstory on a lot of the stuff that we see in the final act and stuff like that. I wish there was a reason for that. Other than just kind of shoehorning it in. But that aside, it is really cool to see, at least like just visually, like, and if you, like I said, if you turn your brain off and you're just like ooh pretty, then yeah, it's definitely enjoyable. But again, like it, for me personally, the idea of having Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock's Venom is such a cool concept to me that I wish it was the Venom. You know what I mean? Like this is just like another, like, you know, side foray into like the Elseworlds of Marvel, rather than being like the mainland. Like eventually we're probably going to get a new Venom down the line.
Hey, whoa there, buddy. You can't be throwing around terms like Elseworlds. That's a DC copyrighted.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Also,
Fred.
Come after me, James Gunn.
By the way,
Goodbye for only. Yeah, bye for now. Goodbye for now. Yeah. But Devin.
Yeah. I want to like talk about throwaway characters. Can we talk about how many characters were thrown away? Yeah, we don't have to like really talk about it, but like lots of characters thrown away.
Yeah.
That like, and like also power level discrepancies. You know how we talk about like how in like a lot of Disney Plus shows it feels like characters aren't as strong as they are in the movies and stuff like that. I definitely felt that Venom was extremely underutilized in this movie as Venom.
Yeah.
They did, but they literally plot armored themselves into that. They kind of had to because of the way they chose to implement the codex. It forced them into this very road trip comedy like interaction where we got Eddie and Venom, but not we are Venom, right? Like they remained their separate selves a lot, and so it gave a different dynamic. But we lost like the power character that is Venom. Now I will say, just to push back and play devil's advocate, just to touch on at least on the power creep point, I do feel like it's okay. Hold on, let me rephrase. I agree with you in the fact that it is represented poorly here. I disagree with the fact that I think the power levels are accurate in terms of like Venom versus the Xenophage. The Xenophages are just that strong, but we don't have a good relationship with them. And as the audience, we do have a good relationship with Venom and what he's capable of. But unless you have and there's some assumed knowledge here, which is a little frustrating for a not comic book savvy audience, where like it kind of assumes that you would just make the assumption that Null and Null's lackeys or force, the Xenophages, are just that powerful because you know it's Null. But if you don't know that Null is Null, you know what I'm saying? Then why the fuck should I care?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just they don't do a very good job establishing how powerful he truly is as a being. So I feel like the power levels are accurate, but it's highly misinterpretable in this film because we have so much information on one and such a lack of information on the other.
One thing I do want to touch on that bothered me a little bit in the moment, but then now that I think more about it as we're talking, it's bothering me more. So in the culmination of the entire film, it begs the question, why didn't someone do that earlier?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In regards to power, like,
yes,
was
it's hard to justify the plot.
Like that, and that plays into the whole like, oh god, like how convenient was that? You know, like it's just like why couldn't you have done that earlier? Why couldn't you like? There's so, and that's not the first thing either, but like, or not the only thing, but there's so many things that happen just by it's just like. Oh God, I can't get over the fact
I can actually answer this question. There's like an actual in-film answer. Yep, they did answer it.
Okay.
It's stupid and it's a fleeting moment. That Mulligan and Eddie Brock are the only legitimate hosts. See, now this is where it's a little frustrating because I like these other two movies, so I've watched them multiple times. If you haven't, because you don't enjoy them as much, there is information that they use in the previous films that they use in this one that it's very easy to forget about. Anybody can host a symbiote. There are repercussions for hosting a symbiote if you are incompatible. The incompatibility results in your death. Now, short-term symbiosis is okay. Doesn't necessarily have lifelong effects. But, again, assumed knowledge for the audience, which is not interpreted well in this film, but it is something that they notably talk about in the first film. The problem is that was 6 fucking years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do anything to circle back to that exact thing other than simply referencing the fact that, oh, we now do have a person who is a compatible host for this symbiote.
I see.
I don't agree with the way they did it, but that that's why I started with like this makes sense within with whatever bullshit they were working with from the start. It only makes sense to itself.
Yeah. If you're in the clear,
But like it also assumes that you liked the other two films enough to remember what happened in the to conclude this one. And that's bad fucking storytelling.
And what's also kind of wild to me right now is like I'm trying to play through the film in my brain to kind of like, pull on things that I want to talk about with this. And it's like I hardly remember how the movie like transitions from because it's already shown he's in Mexico when it starts out. It's already been shown that, okay, but I can't remember the in between, like it's such a weird because I recall Mexico and I remember the river, but I don't really remember a whole lot between it. Like
he went to a illegal dogfighting kennel's place.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to walk.
And then Venom had a snack.
Yeah, wanted to go to New York. Because he's on the run.
I would have liked to see her, Eddie.
Yeah, New York was our goal destination, and that was that was our plot destination.
Yeah.
It's just, man, I really wish I liked it more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've already said all we could say. Let's get into our ratings, but before we do that,
I was saying don't forget Ernell's review.
Yeah, we got Ernell's write-in. So I'm gonna read this to our audience here, and I'll
do it in your best Venom voice. I'm kidding. That's gonna be too much.
Oh boy!
I'll give his rating first, and then we'll go round again and give our ratings and if we would recommend you watch this right away or not. So this is Ernell's big stinky review for Venom: The Last Dance. Oh boy, I have no idea where to even start with this. This third and hopefully final chapter of Tom Hardy Venom's story is what I can only really explain as a happy mess. Quote, happy mess. Akin to something like your burger falling apart all over your fries. It kind of sucks, but it's not the worst thing you could be experiencing. The movie utilizes our relationship to the prior movies in some ways. In some ways, I feel we're very clever. They don't necessarily double down on Venom being an over-the-top, goofy sidekick to Hardy's Eddie Brock, but they seemingly knew what we were expecting from the characters, so it made for a level of fun that is generally acceptable for a buddy movie. What isn't quite as fun is all of the really cool shit they do in this movie that is simply floundered by the inability for the writers to stay consistent. There seems to be some genuinely concerning lack of understanding for what tone Kelly Marshall was wanting when directing this film. The dialogue is grounded during some moments, but is quickly followed up with corny dribble that could only be found in a Sony Marvel property. And there are tons of rules being established in the story that are blatantly ignored either immediately or during a later act. Venom spends the entire first half of the movie being absolutely terrified by our villains, and I'm supposed to believe he would ignore that entirely for an anime-style dance number? Get real, man. The most egregious of trespasses, though, is how often the writers made choices that almost seem to not want this to be a Marvel movie. Every time there was an opportunity for something truly awesome to happen, it reeled back and shackled the moment, as if those very writers didn't want to give us the movie we deserved. I mean, we have one of the coolest big bads in the Marvel Universe, and they let us see him for maybe 2 minutes. That's not even including everything in the final act could have been if they would have just allowed it to happen. A huge bummer considering how well that act actually was compared to the prior two. Overall, the movie is fine, certainly better than its predecessor and arguably better than the first. But it still didn't leave me with much hope that Sony's live-action Spider-Man properties will be any better moving forward, which is a huge bummer leading into Kraken. I forgot that movie's coming out. Ernell gives Venom: The Last Dance a 5 out of 10. Well, Devin, we know you rated a 4 out of 10, but should people see this right away or no?
No.
Okay. No. All right.
Just no.
All right, Garrick. What would you rate Venom: The Last Dance, and should people see it right away?
Um, as much as I heavily critique, and I do feel like there is a lot to critique, if you have already done yourself, the service or disservice, depending on how you want to look at it, uh, to and to see the previous two, there's no reason to not finish this out. I feel like it's a it was a decent theater experience. I didn't have a bad time in my theater. Um, this is probably one of those movies that, like, if I was watching it at home, I probably wouldn't necessarily have paid attention as hard. But in the theater, I did have a good time. Like I said, like, I was experiencing some extreme boredom, but in between those moments, like I said, I had a smile on my face quite frequently whenever they were making any jokes. Um, and so I feel like if you like Venom as a character, go see. I feel like you should go see this movie. But if you are not like a Venom fan specifically, there's nothing here for you, and you should just wait for this to come to a streaming service or watch it, or don't watch it at all. Actually, this was like the corniest popcorn flick I've seen in a while. 6.5 for me.
6.5. Okay. All right. Xander, what would you rate Venom: The Last Dance, and should people go see this film right away?
So, in the order at which you asked, I am going to give this a solid 5 out of 10. And should you watch this film right away? Honestly, it can wait. It can wait. However, like I said, there are some things that you can definitely glean some entertainment out of this. If you're kind of like in my shoes, where you're finally able to kind of separate that comic book adaptation mindset and just really go in thinking this is just loosely based on this, the Venom source material. This is not a one-to-one adaptation. They're kind of doing their own thing with it. And your movie theater happens to have a bar attached to it. You know what? Grab a couple drinks. You know what? Call up some friends, whatever. Just have a good time with it. But don't go into this being like, oh, this is the end all be all Venom film, because it really isn't. It's not that crazy. It's not that major. But you can find some enjoyment out of it. I will say that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You said a 5 out of 10?
Yes, sir.
Sir, all right. Alrighty. Well, I am gonna give this film also a 6.5. I think it's fun. I think it's good bad. It's good bad, right? It's not too bad. It's not, it's not bad where it goes into Rebel Moon, Madam Web territory, right? It's in that Goldilocks zone of it's good enough. It's fun. If you just turn your brain off, you want something to watch, I think you should go see it right away if you really want to. Just have some fun. Got nothing to do on a weeknight or something. Just go and see it. Fuck it, why not? So that will average. So
5.5.
5.5.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
5.5
because
on the
Renell
dot.
gave it a 5. Yeah, so 5.5 out of 10. Venom: The Last Dance, according to Good Kraken, is a 5.5 out of 10. Clap it up. Clap it up for
Well
Venom: The
clap.
Last Dance. 5.5 out of 10.
Yay! Woo!
I'm so enthusiastic. Could you see the enthusiasm on my face?
Yeah. Well, Prime Gaming. Hope you guys at home are oohing and ahhing, because this has been 20,000 Films Under the Sea, your choice for all the nerdy pop media news, reviews, and discussions you wanted each and every week. If you like what you heard, you can head on over to our Discord channel, where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on a podcast and video service near you. But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that's cool with us. You can watch us record the show live right here at twitch.tv/GoodKrakenShow. And you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, hitting subscribe, or by leaving a review on our podcast channel by searching 20,000 Films. That's 20,000 Films Under the Sea, and we'll be there waiting for you. But until next time, goodbye.
Fuck you. I'm not
For
Melman.
now. Oh. Goodbye for now.
Damn.